are the true ones, are the most maybe the most loving ones and the most honest ones, and really the ones with the strong voice, of course, and usually the kindest ones maybe. And so it's not like a rebel is something angry. I don't find it true. And I think, yeah. Yeah, but I was actually supposed to meet Andy Warhol with Eric. And,
Yes, I heard about that.
yeah, then he died. And it was really kind of totally exciting in a way, because of course I believed he was going to change my life. Of course, because he changed a lot of people's life. And he did change my life too, my artistic life. But I never had that, like I have with you now. I can look in your eyes, and I never did. See, you have the scarf, of course. But it's like, I can look, but it's like, it was, he died, so never, I didn't have the pleasure of doing that. I was looking for Basquiat, because he was also one of my heroes, of course, which is also a true rebel in a way, but, and also you see all the real souls, the most vulnerable souls, you see how they always kind of get too hurt by things, and usually it leans towards addiction, either to drugs or to something, to alcohol, or I mean something, at least an addiction. Maybe, I mean, you do art to save yourself just from this monster inside of you or something that will, that you can't take the voice, or you have to get it out. I think that's very common for many artists. I don't, if it's really real, I think that's very common, because I don't think you can make yourself an artist. It was very strange, because Eric, everybody was just friends, so it became like normal people. It became like my friends at home, like my friends and family. So it was never like, oh my God, it was never like that. It was just like, hi, how are you doing? Oh, you're Unni. Or first thing I remember what Dylan said, and it's very, very funny, because I first met him in Oslo, actually. So he came over and he said hello, and he said, oh, so you're the mom. I said, yeah, hi. And I remember shaking his hand, and he didn't have a handshake. It was like really like this. And I was so shocked, because a guy with the most powerful words in music that I've heard, maybe in songs of freedom and peace and blah, 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 you name it, didn't have a real handshake. So I was just like, and he looked at me and said, well, you're big, but it's a beautiful big. And I was like, oh shit. So that was very funny. And then it just, it's still like I can write to Diane at his office and say, hi Diane, can I have some tickets? And now he was in the concert house, and I was writing 2 days before. Of course it's a full house, how can I? Because I know Tony Garnier pretty well, the bass player, I know him. So we talk sometimes. But when I was with Eric, we used to see him always when he was here, and I've seen them also after, but it's like, in one way, that was my life then. Then I moved into another life with the other artist who's an original painter, and we did other things. So it's like, now I'm on my third life. So I hope I'm like the cat, that I have 9, because I really like to live. I think it's really beautiful. Okay, it was much more real, and everything was going on, and the people seemed more real, and because everybody from the 60s, they were kind of still alive, because they were still around. So was in the village was the kettle of fish, was these little joints, the people were there. Then also CBGBs were there, we were there a lot, of course, you know, drinking, yelling, screaming, I mean, just like how it was. Then I remember my first, and Bottom Line was there. The Sync Club, I don't know if it's still there or not. It's still there. Okay, so maybe that's one of the ones that are still there that I've been to after, but still. But I remember Bottom Line, we were there lots because Eric played there also. Like usually when I came to New York, he was playing. And I remember we were very good friends with Robert Palmer, who also died. Robert Palmer was the art critic of music in New York Times. And he also wrote books about the blues. He was very interested in the blues. He was a very, very smart, intelligent guy. But he died, of course, because there was bad needles in New York in the 80s, and everybody was trying this and that and thinking that they were going to live forever. And they didn't. They got hepatitis C. They died of, yeah. They didn't get a liver transplant. So it was a lot of them, actually. So, but he took us to the first, before Sonic Youth was big, he took us to the first Sonic Youth concert in the Bottom Line. And I will never forget it because the sound and the way it looked there with all it was like punk to me in a way, but it was sophisticated. And Kim Gordon, I really, really love her. There's no more. I think they're totally great. But my advantage in my life is that I got my kids and I always had to leave, so I was just always a visitor. My disadvantage was that I never stayed there in those days because it probably, but I don't know if I would have even survived if I had stayed and not had the kids at home and go back. I have no idea. Because Enrique Danko, he was like one of my closest friends. Really, he was here a lot, living with us and staying with us, and he was like Uncle Rick to the kids, and we traveled around. So it's like he also died. So we knew those calls 4 o'clock in the morning. I thought, no, don't say it. He was in now. So yeah. Of course, it was a sign of the times. America was changing. So everything was like evolving, everything was moving, and they were reaching out also to Europe, and people started following. It was very, very interesting. And at that time, the art was actually, you could still create new things. Today you can't really, like Jeff Koons, come on. And all these Cindy Sherman photography, it's like, and Basquiat, and you name it. I was really actually inspired by the abstract expressionists. But they were at the time really actually dying. Willem de Kooning was probably the one that lived the longest. And also Jackson Pollock's wife. Lee Krasner. Very interesting. Because in one way, she made Pollock. And did anybody ever say that? No. But you can see that in the books and in the way, in her paintings, you can really see it. That's what happened. But then, of course, he started the drippings, and he started these things, and he went crazy, and once again, a tormented soul. The same with Mark Rothko. I once saw an exhibition in Whitney of Mark Rothko in this one room. I thought I just want to be there forever because it was so beautiful, so silent, and the color, and it opens up that other world of colors. And if you don't know about it, and if you not use it, maybe you don't understand it. But when you work with it and see it, there's a resonance to the other world, and that only in one way artists might do, So, but he also killed himself. It's like, why? I still wonder why. Why we feel so.
Did you find it offensive?
No, because it's like you're haunted or tormented. It's like monster inside of you, I think. I don't know. I think so. I love my monster so far. I never wanted to have them. They were there. They came. to me as a gift in a way. They are gifts, but also, of course, common interest. With with Ari, it was because I think I've known him longer than I've known Morten. So with Ari, it was in one way that I'm a literature freak. If you come to my house, there's so many books that you will wonder, like, and I can't say that I've read them all, but I can say that I would know something about them all. And it's now starting to cover the windows, so now I really have to do something. But so our relationship at first was mainly literature and art, because he was also more busy with painting and more interested in that. So it was really interesting, and he also liked Eric a lot, of course. So we met when I was still together with Eric. I came to a concert, and we were good friends before he married the princess. So it was like I would say that I always have admired him for his honesty, for his rebelliousness in a way that has also always been good. And I admire it because he just does it. And he's a very intelligent man, very loving, and we had a lot of fun on Monday actually, just a few days ago. So, and we are very close. I mean, it's wonderful. And I kind of took him in the art world. I mean, we exhibited together, and I got so many reactions from people saying, "Why are you doing this? Why do you want to put yourself so down?" And I said, "What the fuck is wrong with you? I mean, can you look behind? Can you look behind and see what the other thing is?" So I think it was great. To do it. Morten and I met in 1998, and it was very funny because I followed his work, and my ex-husband too. We were then friends and colleagues, but secret lovers, and we were in a show and we met Morten, and we had been discussing how we were gonna make our first exhibition together with Morten. We had actually made it already, but Morten didn't know anything because he didn't know any of us. So then I met him, and I went over. I had a few glasses of wine. Went over to Morten, and because I thought he was deadly handsome. I said he looks like Banderas. He looks like. I mean, I thought just I'm gonna totally die because he's so beautiful. So I walked over, and he was positive. He was just like nice and positive. So it was a little like, before I knew the real story. And then I invited him to my house for a dinner to talk about the exhibition. And I had made the library in the house, I had made the table like really black, like a coffin, with the sculpture, the face of the girl from the Seine in Paris, because she was found dead and she looks like she's just been kissed, and I have the death mask at home. So I made it really in honor of Morten, because we wanted to do this exhibition together with him. He said yes. But then we had so much wine, we drank so much. And dancing, I mean, I'm sure I took the clothes, I mean, I don't know, the usual when there's a party. And I woke up in the morning, I was so scared. I said, okay, we blew it. I blew it once again. And I tried to write message to Morten and say, I'm so sorry. Morten never answered. And I got really, because we were not used to mobile phones, so he couldn't write SMS. And I was like, go. So I've ruined everything, you know. I'm so sorry. And then he says, no, it'll be fine. And
Have you done it already? Or?
we did it then. We did it pretty quick. When did we do it? What was the name? Oh my God. Sometimes the most known things
I know.
you forget. And I heard a radio program the other day. It's not because you're stupid. It's because you're so hyper thinking about what's going on right now, that in the other drawers in your mind, it's all buried.
I know.
But it was so. Okay. Hi Martin, right now I'm talking about you in the interview, so this is very, very funny because I can't remember the name of our exhibition. Necrologer, yeah. So I was just talking about how it was that you never answered my SMS, and I thought it was because I didn't know whether I took my clothes off or not. So this is very funny, yeah. Yeah. And then we decided, as we met again, and I said to Morten, have you ever been to New York? And he says, no. So why don't you let me take you to New York? And we went to New York. We had known each other for 28 days. It was really funny. And I felt like I'd known him all my life. And I took him to New York because Eric was having a release party, and the movie he did with Edie Sedgwick, because he had a main role in the movie from Warhol, and he was going to show that movie too. And also Sverre was with us because he was also in the art thing, and there was other artists, and so we were all going to New York together. And then Morten and me are staying there alone for a while before Eric comes. So I had been with Lou Reed. Lou Reed had been to the house in Kløfta, and it was not long ago. And he always said, "So when you're coming back, you have to just you have to call me." So we're in the Lamarck Hotel, and I'm calling Lou Reed, and I'm saying, "Hi, Lou, this is Unni. Oh, hi, Unni. How are you? Yeah. I wanted. Should we meet?" And then he says, "Yeah, of course. Why don't you come there, and then we'll have dinner together. I'll bring Laurie." And yeah, but I have a friend, an artist friend. And then Morten says, "Oh," and I said, and he says, "Yeah, fine." So we were there. We came, but the thing is that Morten and me, we partied a little too much. So we were a little too it was. And we were a little nervous for the whole thing. So it ends up that we are in this bar having a few shots but we didn't eat. So Laurie and Lou are coming, and me, like the big blonde, seeing him over there, and he likes to be kind of anonymous. So there's him, "Hi!" I think that was his real nightmare. But he didn't say anything. He just came over. We got the table and we sat down and we eat. And I remember we were laughing, and I was kind of trying to get to know Laurie a little, try to talk to her. But we got pretty drunk. But I do remember. And then we were going to order food, and I say, "God, Lou, you're used to eating here. What do you recommend?" And he recommended this piece of veal with cheese. And it was so much cheese on it that I would still have it if I had kept it. And I look at Lou, I said, "This is what you recommend?" I think Morten could really, because he remembers this a little bit more, like what I said. And I started to yell at him and said, "Laurie, I think I love you more, because how can you?" So it became like a very, very funny thing. It was really funny, but it was also very interesting. And the next day we met, we went to art shows, we went down to the Dia Foundation, we saw different shows. Friends, Bjarne was just here. I was just sitting a week ago with him down in Daglestuen because he was here for a few days because his mother's not feeling so well. So we were like sitting holding hands, hugging, and it was absolutely kind of sad. And not so it's but he is, I mean, extremely, totally, absolutely intelligent, and he's so damn good that I'll bow my head in the dust, and he's always been the inspiration, maybe the most inspiration, because he's alive, and he's very exciting, and he's without scruples. Definitely, he's really does anything. And I'm thankful to him in a way, because when he opened a gallery here, Norwegian Norsk Anarkistisk Fraksjon, and I was the first Norwegian one to have an exhibition in 1999. And that was actually after Fabrice Hubert and the people from France who, you know, because he brought in all these international hotshots to this location. And then he exhibited me, so I got on the market in Norway, and I did like something I called synthetic abstractions. And I would, with very dirty titles. So I would still say they were inspired by Rothko and other things, and I got very good art critics and stuff, and any other person would have been very happy. But I was kind of like, shit, this is boring. Let's move on. We can't be right. I don't want to be in a group of people that are supposed to be like the right people in the Norwegian art world. No way. No way. So I moved on. There was a new gallerist, Christian Dam, that started a new gallery. Morten was already there. So then Morten and I, we went there, and I got an exhibition there. So I kind of moved, and then I actually made money. I got advances for the money. So in the end, when the gallery was going to pay me the money, there was no money left, because it was like, okay, let's go, come on! Christian, come on, let me get an advance here. I need some money because we're going to have some fun and we're going to do this and that. So it was another comedy. Then I got brought up in Miami by an art guy, so and I like came in one of these big magazines, and I'm looking at this like, what? This is like kind of unreal, like, but it was fun. But yeah, then I started with the Munch adoptions. And actually, this is kind of funny and a little embarrassing, because I started I was invited to a Diesel exhibition to do something, so I did piss painting. And because it had to do, you remember when Diesel did all these piss, so I don't remember exactly the details, but I made a piss painting. It was like 4 or 5 meters long or something, and when I'd done that, I thought, just something came to my mind about Edvard Munch, because everybody was asking me about this and that, and say that your work can remind of him and this, and I got really provocated. I said, okay, reminds you? You're gonna fucking get it. You're gonna really get it big time. I'm gonna take his pictures and make them mine. So I started with that. And I started actually with graffiti, like with tagging in a tunnel in Klafta in the night. I started to write adopted around, like really like childish, stupid, but I had to feel something. So I took the piss painting, I wrote adopted over it, and I started to go into eye to eye, into dance of life, into all the, a lot of Munch's paintings that had to do with my life. And I just painted them as I wanted to. And I went to Blomqvist because I knew that was one of his first galleries, or his first gallery. So I thought, this is really kind of great if I could have it there. And I had a meeting with Blomqvist downstairs here. This is like, kind of a place I've been for years and years. That's why I hug the doorman when I come here. And then he looked at me, the chief over at Blomqvist looked at me and he said, "Aren't you a Bjarne Melgaard wannabe?" And I said, "What? Excuse me? Bjarne is one of my good friends. And of course we're colleagues, went to academy together, and I'm absolutely not." So what happened was that they said yes. They had like 24 hours and they said yes. So we planned the exhibition. And then I thought I was going to be smarter about another thing. The exhibition was a success. I got really good critics and really bad. Like one guy said, "Is she brain dead?" And another guy said, "This is really great." I mean, a lot. And I became kind of a little bit known in Norwegian, in the, not only the art world, but also by people, because I touch the national treasure. And you're not really supposed to do that, and maybe not so honest, not so directly, and not use my own life, you know. Because there is no point in me doing art if I don't use my own life. People always ask me where I get ideas from. And it's almost intimidating, because I don't understand how can they ask me where I get ideas. Can't they just understand that I am a big idea? I mean, of course it's experience, of course it's travel, of course it's everything, but I don't go to get ideas. I don't have to. I can sleep or stay in the bed or watch TV. Because it's there. It's like the life and the art is one big thing. So everything is just, yeah, one thing.